It was 2017. There I was on my couch the night before Thanksgiving with pen in hand, thinking to myself, Renee, if you want to write a book, you have to write the first sentence. Like many of you, one of my biggest dreams was to write a book, but I always had an excuse of why I couldn't do it. Oh, I have too much else going on. What's my book going to be about? Who's going to read what I write? I felt really safe in the thought that I'm going to write a book, but someday in the future, until this night. I got so tired of this looming dream in the back of my mind that I finally said to myself, Renee, just focus on the writing, and the process of making it into a book you'll worry about later. So, on that night, while a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving played on the TV, I wrote my first sentence, and then I wrote my first page. Now, I wish I could tell you all that after months or even that first year that I had a complete book ready to go to print. But that was not the case. See, my full-time job was as a professional singer, dancer, and actor on Broadway. I was doing 8 shows a week in the musical Pretty Woman, and between numbers, I would run to the crew room with my wig on, tons of makeup, my high heels, and I would write furiously. But days, weeks, months went by, and yes, my writing moved forward, and I kept reminding myself, Ray, just focus on the writing, everything else will come later. So even though the writing was increasing, I still didn't know how to put this into a book. I mean, it's great that I have the words, but like many of you, I didn't know how to put those words into structured chapters. I started writing without an outline. I didn't know how to create a catchy book title or how to reference all the research in my book. So in 2020, I said to myself, after trying this on my own for so long, without tons of success, I'm going to look into another way to do this. I'm going to get the help. I'm going to do this for real. And a friend of mine told me about this great book publishing coach who had a 3-day book challenge, Christine Gale. I said, oh, who's this Christine Gale? Okay, I'll join it. And after those 3 days, I immediately jumped into her program. The clear steps and process that she has laid out for her authors, paired with the wonderful accountability, and the authors community was everything I needed to bring my book to life. Right when I signed up, I said to Christine, I really want to be traditionally published. And she got me on the phone with a publisher, and that publisher became my now publisher of my first book, Becoming a Master Communicator. Woo! Through her guidance and through the community, I decided to do a public declaration announcing the day that my book was going to be published by. Lo and behold, 1 year later, to the day, I realized that I was doing another public declaration, this time announcing that my book was available for pre-order. When you put yourself out there and you pair words with effort, anything is possible. In using Christine's Unleash Your Bestseller process, I not only became Amazon bestseller in 6 categories, but also a Barnes & Noble bestseller. I believe as human beings, in order to experience the fullness of who we are and the fullness of what life has to offer, we must work together. The same holds true with our books. When we have an amazing community, like the Unleash Your Rising Authors community, with Christine Gale guiding us, we're able to be held to the highest of standards so we can create our books in the most authentic and magical of ways in way less time. I'll leave you with this. If you have a message in your mind and heart that's nudging you, that's a sign that it needs to be expressed. And what better way to express that message than through a book? So please, please don't waste time like I did trying to do it on your own, because the world needs your message now. Thank you.